the story of Maya Moore, the women's GOAT. She had arguably the greatest 5-year run in sports history. 2013 to 2018, Moore won 3 WNBA titles with the Minnesota Lynx. She was also the 2013 Finals MVP and the MVP of the league in 2014. Moore was all WNBA first team and a WNBA All-Star all those 5 seasons. She was also defensive second team twice in 2014 and 2017, and in that time, she won 2 gold medals, one at the Olympics and one at a FIBA tournament. She was one of the best basketball players on the planet. She retired in her prime and dedicated her life and her voice to people that didn't have one as a social justice advocate. Let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Roster of Olympians and All-Stars, but their best player still is Maya Moore.
And the headline of this draft, of course, is Maya Moore. She's been ready for the WNBA since her sophomore year in college.
Moore was a high school phenom at Collins High School in Georgia. She had a career record of 125-3. She lost 3 games in 4 years of high school. She won 3 state titles and a national championship. She was the second junior ever to win Nate Smith Player of the Year. She won her senior year too. She also won 4 national championships in AAU on the travel ball circuit. The list goes on. She went viral for dunking the basketball and was a household name in the hoops world by age 16. Moore went on to become the next great at UConn, a bona fide superstar in college hoops. She won 2 national titles and was first team All-American 4 years straight. She was Player of the Year 2 times nationally, and she won 3 times as the Big East Player of the Year. She averaged 22 points per game, 8 boards, and 4 assists her senior year. Plain and simple, she dominated.
Can't describe Maya. There's no explanation for what she does. She'll get a rebound when no one else can get to the ball. She'll get a steal when no one else can get a steal. She'll make a shot around the basket or create something, and she has great timing. Like exactly when we need her, she shows up.
And then she entered the 2011 WNBA draft.
With the first pick in the 2011 WNBA draft, the Minnesota Lynx selects Maya Moore from the University of Connecticut.
And she made an immediate impact, becoming the second player in history to win Rookie of the Year and a championship in the same year. She went to 3 straight finals her first 3 seasons, but we really gonna focus on 2013 to 2018 when it got real. She won MVP of the finals and her second title in 2013. The next year, she took home MVP, best player in the league. And then from 2015 to 2018, she won 2 more titles with the Lynx. They were a modern-day dynasty with no signs of slowing down. In my opinion, if Moore kept playing, she would have gotten at least another 3 to 5 titles by now. The Lynx had the league shook. They were stacked. The way they had things in place, it was a given. That team, that franchise would have been crazy historic. When she retired, like, to just put it in perspective, it would have been like if Bron retired after he won those chips with the Miami Heat. Picture that. Yeah. Anyways, she was inspired by her godparents. Something happened. With all the systematic racism and police brutality being highlighted in the media like never before, more athletes have started speaking out. Like Colin Kaepernick, Moore sacrificed the prime of her career to lend her voice and efforts to the cause.
Well, looking back at the summer of 2016, it was a hard summer because there was a lot of violence. There was unexpected deaths. And because of where we're at with technology and the way our community works, we were able to see it and hear about it more publicly than it being more hidden like in the past. And so I remember our coaching staff and the captains coming together on the Minnesota Lynx and just being honest about the fact that we were heartbroken for the Black lives and also the police officer who was injured in Texas at that time. And so we decided, our coaches really encouraged us, if you guys want to do something, be people in this moment. And so I'm the youngest captain on the team. And so I'm really just looking at and leaning on the leadership. But then in that process, I started to develop my own voice in that space.
Moore advocates for prosecutorial reform in the American justice system. One case in particular that caught her attention was the case of Jonathan Irons. Irons is a black man who was falsely imprisoned at age 16 in Missouri for a shooting and robbery he didn't commit. Reports say police hid evidence that proved that he was innocent and someone else committed the crime. But he lost 23 years of his life over this, and eventually he sued the party that was responsible after he was free.
Jonathan, I'm so happy for you. Y'all, let's just say hallelujah, first of all, that Jonathan is sitting here right now. It's just, I don't ever want that to get old, of just the miracle of your life and who you are. So we are super excited to continue the work that we've been doing together, but doing it as a married couple.
WNBA star turned activist Maya Moore revealed that she has married Jonathan Irons, the wrongfully convicted man she helped free from prison after serving 23 years behind bars.
We got married a couple months ago, and we're excited to just continue this new chapter of life together.
The couple appeared on Good Morning America Wednesday to talk about their love story. The 31-year-old basketball pro said they met through a prison ministry program when she was 18 years old.
Over the last 13 years, we have just developed a friendship and just entered into this huge battle to get him home. And just over time, it was pretty clear what the Lord was doing in our hearts. And now we're sitting here today, starting a whole new chapter together.
I am more.
Max, can I just say it?
Yes.
I was going to go ahead and say it.
Go ahead.
I'm a student of the game of basketball.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen a player like her in her sport. Ever. Now, people can challenge me. I know there's a lot of incredible players, Diane Taurasi, Leslie. I know them all. I've just never – if there is a definition of a walking bucket, that is who Maya Moore is.
And a winner. Everywhere she goes, she wins.
I mean, we're talking about the greatest women's hoops player on the planet. Hanging up the kicks, dropping everything, putting the game and her talents on pause to help people that needed it most.
Win with Justice, which is my husband and my nonprofit, centered around prosecutorial reform, which is connected more widely to the mass incarceration problem that we have in this country, and trying to bring more restorative justice to the culture of our courtrooms and prosecutors' offices. So we will try to continue to help educate and empower and storytell in that space. Knowing that I had a relationship with Jonathan, I had my own story of Black Lives Mattering through Jonathan. And so I really put some thought into it. I got courage from that. And then I decided to speak even more publicly about Jonathan's life after we stood together as a team that summer in 2016.
And she assists with United Way and advocates with other organizations to give the voiceless a voice and to unite people through faith and kindness. After 4 years out of the league, Moore officially hung him up earlier this year. She retires as arguably the greatest woman to ever play in the WNBA, a career that may have been cut short on the court, but one that has flourished and prolonged off the court.
We're going to focus on, from your perspective.
Well, I think we want to continue to try to speak into the criminal justice reform space, probably in a consultant role, maybe other roles as necessary. Inspiring people to vote, and just having people have a conversation. We want people to have a conversation just about things that need to be changed in our society, and maybe even people will be inspired by this story to think about people that are in a lesser situation, to see them as people. I think family is an important role that we want to continue to focus on, and just enjoy our family and our new son, and if the Lord blesses us with more children, to continue to focus on them, and just kind of be there for each other, and just enjoy the time that we have together.
That's a wrap for us, y'all. For all the latest and the greatest, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This has been your boy, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, with Live for Brandon Blakeney. We out. You dig?